What's up, Aries? Happy new moon in Gemini. This is a very effervescent time, as I've said before. And today we are going to be talking about the new moon. It's coming up at 26 degrees of Gemini, right over here in the base of your chart. And for the astrology, this is definitely for Aries rising, but this can be watched by Aries sun and Aries moon as well to get the vibrations of it. But I want to highlight something that I see here that's going on, that it looks like, based on the nodes, we have the north node over here at the last degree of Taurus and the south node over here in the last degree of Scorpio. The nodes are going to be transitioning into your sign next month. So it's like if you thought that all this excitement over here in Leo was a hot girl summer, like this is going to be like a hot, like we had a little dip down and gave the stage over to Taurus for a little while. They're feeling all the vibrations and all the feelings. Like, God bless the Taurus right now. Like, if you know a Taurus and you love a Taurus, just send them a little heart emoji because they won't want to talk about it. But what's going on with Aries right now, and when we're at the last degree, the nodes go backwards. So normally we'd say like at 29 degrees would be the last degree, or they call it like the anaretic degree, I think. And it's kind of like the shadow side of things. But because the nodes go backwards, this to me is saying like it's a little bit of like the last stand. I'll talk about Pluto in a minute as well. It's the last stand. And the south node, this is purging over here in your 8th house of transformation, death, rebirth, and shared possessions. This is wills, contracts, but this, like, to me is saying, like, there might be some spice words coming at you or a spicy person coming at you at work and somewhere in your everyday life. There's something that's just, like, stuck that is really just, like, gross. I just wanted to highlight that just to give a little bit of a validation for you that you're not alone within this. But I want us to use this new moon not to become the beautiful, vindictive, terrifying Aries Rams that we know and love and can be. And like, I'm an Aries sun conjunct Jupiter, and like my Mars is in Taurus. So when I go, it's like, I'm sorry, all I can see is red in front of my eyes, and I'm going to tear you to itsy ritsy bitsy pieces because of this beautiful Mercury in Pisces as well. So it's going to be eloquent as I tell you everything that you hate about yourself. But, you know, I'm going to put the anger and rage video below for you to watch, because you're such a powerful being, Aries, that the most incredible thing that you can do right now to whatever situation is going on is just leave it behind. And like say less. Like, just don't even give it the time of day. I just wanted to offer that you're not alone within that, because I really want us to utilize these energies for, like, you've got bigger things to do. You're an Aries for a reason. Like, you came out the beginning for a reason. So there's something within this third house, this Gemini run house, that I'd really love for us to be manifesting. Like, what is healthy communication for you? Or maybe if you want to take a short trip, this is like the short trips as if like going for a little road trip or something, or, you know, getting an Airbnb, a cabin or something like that. Just local, not on an airplane. The 9th house over here, the opposition, is long distance travel. So this is the big stuff over here. So I'd really love for us to be, because we know for new moons, and definitely I put the link for the new moon introduction video below this, and I won't go through all the lenses and things like that, but it's a perfect time to manifest. So I want you to think about, if we know that safety is the bottom of the chart, this is the roots of the tree of our life. You know, we have the north node that's going into your house of self. We're going to leave Jupiter and Uranus in your house of money, please, and access to resources. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this at the last degree, something's going on in your everyday life. Don't let it. Put your blinders on, honey. Put your blinders on. If we need to process something that happened in childhood, why is it that, you know, I feel unsafe with people, you know, doing this, that, and the third? Why is it, like, what happened in your earlier years, your formative years, that created this little bit of like an uneasiness? Or were you not allowed to use your strong and powerful voice? Like, let's just kind of look at that before the new moon. Because on the new moon, I want you to focus on growth. I want you to focus on being bigger, taking up more space. You know, famous celebrity or a famous artist or a famous YouTuber, someone that you really idealize and you really look up to that has a large platform and a large stage, did they let the haters' comments get to them? Probably not. They're still going to do their thing. You know, if we worried about what everybody thought about us and said about us, or if we took that phrasing, oh, there's some childhood stuff over here that's like, they're just jealous. They're just jealous. It's almost like that when we were kiddos was a justification for someone else lashing out irrationally and us just having to like diminish ourselves a little bit for it. So I'd love to just say that that was wrong. That was wrong. I want you bigger. I don't care what they're experiencing over there. That's a them problem. I want you to look at your immediate group of people and maybe make a list. Maybe if we know that we are the amalgamation of the 5 closest people to us, who are those 5 people that you feel closest to? And if they aren't physical people, this can be, you know, a YouTube channel. This can be, you know, whomever you're hearing the sounds and tones of their voice and their vibration on a regular basis, and you're listening to the way that they have to say things. And honestly, like with those 5 people, I want you to have people that you listen to their judgments of you and you want them to judge you in a positive way. There's only a few people in my life that I actually will give a crap about how they think about me. The rest of them, whatever. You do your thing. You have your song and dance. That's okie dokie. But I really would love for us, because like we've got a lot of activity over here. Mars, Venus, and Lilith over in your house of creativity, play, romance, childlike spirits, and kiddos if you want those things. So maybe if this is the time that if some of you want kiddos, now might be the time to talk about it to your significant other, or giving yourself that little vacation where you can act like a kid, or letting your inner child play and have fun. Like Gemini, this is a fun season. Like it's intense. We have so much information coming at us, but you know, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be exciting and jovial and all those great things. And so I also want to highlight, we have Saturn over here that's, you know, has gone retrograde the day before, so it's still in that, what do they call it, like the station direct. It's kind of like the tankard that's just like changing directions. So this is happening in your 12th house of soul purpose, healing, closures, and coming home. We also have Pluto up here, retrograde, in your 10th house of legacy, public life, career. And it's just dipping back into Capricorn for a few months. It's going to fully be in Aquarius starting November of 2024 and will be there for 20 years. So this is kind of like our collective final, or actually from a macro perspective, it's the collective final stand for any top-down authority, any structures that were really not equal. Like when Pluto's in Aquarius, this is like galactic technologies, galactic healing and information, like burning, metaphorically, the top-down authority and just creating peace and, you know, fair energy for everyone. Like that's what Pluto in Aquarius is going to be. It's literally like age of Aquarius. Like it's that type of a vibe. So we have the last little bit of, that was the macro that we're going to see, kind of like the stage falling down. But on the micro and the personal sense, you know, we've talked about addictions, we've talked about all of these like really negative things about us that we have to leave behind that really aren't serving our highest and best interest. I'll put the link for Everything Was Ambrosia as well. That's a really great video to kind of talk about that everything on this planet is poison and ambrosia equally. It's however much you ingest of it that's going to create it to be one or the other. But with Pluto back in your 10th house of career, legacy, and public life, public image, I want you to kind of like toughen up your skin a little bit on this and like not ever have, let me rephrase. Think of a new shortened period of time, because you are such a star, my dear Aries. You're such a, regardless of what it is that you do, the fire signs are the main characters. Aries, Leo, Sag. without question, main characters of this planet. So people will look to you and judge you and have opinions of you regardless of who you actually are and what it is that you do. You represent something bigger because of your big dick energy. That you just pop into a room and you're just, no, I gotta do this. They don't know that you have moments of crying in the bathroom and that you actually genuinely give a fuck about the people and how they feel. Like, they don't see that side of you. They just see the big dick energy and they're like, how do you have all this vibe? How do you have all this? It's like, because I've nourished it, actually. Thank you so much. And I chose to be an Aries. I come in that way. So let's really look at creating a thick skin in a way, like, what is the process that you have that when something external happens that really just rattles your cage? Like, rattles your fucking cage. What is the process that you have? Like, I'll give an example. There was this really divine masculine man that I follow on Instagram, and I guess like him and his son were having a workout and they were doing boxing and they punched each other and he tore something in his arm. And so he gave himself a day to have his pity party. He gave himself the day to be sad, to be upset, and then he's like, I just transitioned and I trained legs like it was my job. Like it was my business. I trained legs, I did all the different things, and his before and after from when he got the injury to where he was now was beautiful and it was profound. But you need to give in the same way that I tell you when something good happens, complete the cycle and celebrate, you need to give yourself the moment to feel it. And an angel channeler that I follow, Ann Tucker, I'll put the link to her page as well, because she's just an incredible, sweet, loving, angelic being, but sometimes she has to give some hard information. But she'd said, if you really deep dive into the feeling, it can take like 90 seconds. You can really just feel the feeling for 90 seconds, deep dive into it and look at what's around it, what's underneath it, where's the thread, where does it go, what was the root of it. And this is perfect time because we're doing manifestation in the roots of the tree of your life, Aries. This is like, so I don't want us manifesting like, they burned me, now fuck them. I don't want that. I want you bigger, but I want you looking at what is it that I do need to feel safe amongst adversity? What is it that I need to feel safe when I have really crappy things, Saturn going retrograde, crappy intrusive thoughts, crappy this, crappy that? What is it that I can do and set myself up for success that says, okay, this is the compartment when shit goes down that I have this, that, and the third, and I can do that, and then I move along with my life. Give yourself the time to feel it. Give yourself the time to experience it. Because when that North Node goes into your sign, Mamacita, it's going to be that spotlight's on you again. We had it around our birthday. We had it in March. And then Taurus season kind of like, we gave the torch over to Taurus. They're still experiencing those things. Call your Taurus friends. Tell them you love them. Gem season is a nice sextile to our sign. But when we go into Cancer, it's going to be a little bit more, how do I say? Things aren't slowing down. Aries, you are an integral part of this world, and I need you to be strong and confident when you're out in the world and you're out on stage and you're out living your life, because people are watching. People are watching. Not as much as they watch the Sag. Goodness gracious. Bless the Sag. But the Sag doesn't give a fuck. Sag is older. Infants of the zodiac all the way around to Pisces, the baby ancients. So as ostentatious as the Sag can be, they're one of the adults. Kind of like the older ones is like, I don't give a shit. I'm eating French fries off of everybody's plate because I'm old enough and I can fucking do it. So maybe learn from the Sag. Maybe talk to the Sag. Talk to your Sag friends and say, when people are yelling at you out in the club or out wherever, and they're mad at you and they're throwing flames at you and you're just laughing it off, like, how do you do that? And genuinely ask their advice. Because the Sag has a lot to offer, like a lot to offer. Sag and Gem they're such an incredibly smart groupings of beings, but constantly overlooked because of how they present themselves. As a performative healer who can be very ostentatious in her presentation, I fucking get it. I get it. So definitely go talk to a Sag, ask them how they wield that fire, an evolved Sag definitely, and maybe explain to them a little bit about what you're going through, and have a little fire to fire chat. Spit those harsh words. Dear friends of mine, if we need to have really tough chats, we'll, have a conversation and we'll use our leadership tools. And we'll say, hey, send a text message and say, hey, I was wondering if you could hold space for me about something that I'm really having a trouble with. Let them know that it's an intense something or other. Don't tell them what's what. Just say, I really could use someone to hold space for me. Are you able to do that? And then they can either say, yes, let's do it. Let's get a cuppa and let's go chat. Or they can say, no, I actually have way too much on my plate and I can't hold space for you. Which, please, if they say no, say thank you. They're being honest with you. No one should ever diminish their cup or their bucket to make you feel better, ever. And also, I've talked very, very openly and brazenly about having someone hold space for you is quite imperative for what we're going into right now. I think I mentioned that in the Saturn and Pisces video, which I'm already I'll put the Saturn and Pisces video, the link below. Having someone hold space for you right now is quite necessary and imperative for everything that we have going on. And having a friend hold space is one thing, but paying someone or exchanging energy is quite another. So if you feel as though what's going on is overwhelming, if you feel as though that you're very confused and it's just a little bit too much, please reach out directly. We can book a private session. I'm always here and available. The email address is below. Or finding someone local, someone one-on-one that you can have that exchange with and have that dialogue. Someone who's not invested and doesn't know the players and doesn't know the game. It might be advantageous. Because you have a really great many things to do. When the South Node is in your Libra house of relationships, it might be that people that aren't meant to be in your life will leave, hell or high water. And as we learn how to communicate now healthily, we'll know what to say when our gut goes off. When we know that something's off, we'll know what to say. We'll have really talked to the Sag. We'll understood how we're going to address the situation. And then if things come up, the South Node in Libra, we'll know how to act. Because the North Node in Aries is like, you are your own champion. And everybody will be feeling that. So with the South Node in Scorpio, people that, sorry, I have the windows open. It's a pretty day, so I'm going to have some background traffic. So when people aren't doing their work, I did a little video, I think it's on my Instagram. It might be, no, it's one of my shorts. It's down below in one of my shorts. A sign of people not doing their work can be that they are overly nice and that they latch on. If your gut is going off telling you that this person that's super duper nice and super duper love and light isn't doing their work and isn't speaking from I statements, then it might be time to set a very clear boundary with them. And their reaction is not yours to worry about, my darling. You are lovable, especially with healthy boundaries. Is that it? Journal. I literally have 2 journals going right now. I need to go buy a new one. Like journal without question. Get everything out, especially going into Cancer season. We're going to be in all the feels, and the full moon that's coming up is going to be in your 10th house of legacy, public life, and career. That's the next moon cycle that we have going on. And it's going to be powerful, honey. It's going to be powerful. And it's a great time to utilize these energies, especially with the South Node going to be going into your 7th house of relationships, that like we're going to be releasing the people that don't serve us anymore. The relationships, the contracts, all of it, in the woo-woo, in the 3rd dimension, the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, across time and space, past life stuff. We're cutting ties all over the place. So cherish the few people that you have in your life. That was one of the greatest parables that my birth mother ever gave me, was if you can count on one hand people that you know and love and trust and that you find to be your team and flock, you are a very blessed person. You're a very blessed person. I definitely know that this person is of the dark side, but like, oh my goodness, like just we'll talk about it later with the negativisms. But I think it was Oprah that once said, like, if there aren't people who hate you out there, or who are judging you or talk chatter about you, then you're doing something wrong. When they are, when you have haters, it means you're doing something right. I know it sucks, but say less. Say less. I'll see you in a few weeks, babe.